Well, that is map 1 done and dusted. There's still at least another map to go. It was Train the choice of Sprout, which was taken, well, by that man and his team right there. And it actually in a fairly dominant fashion in the end. Like, into that T side, okay, sure, some of the rounds were close, but ultimately, they managed to streak, what, like 6 or 7 rounds towards the end without much of a response at all?
Yeah, I feel like at that point, Heroic were just inside Sprout's head. Every single default they had the correct answer. Sprout tried a bunch of different stuff. I feel like what they tried was the correct answer, but it was just like 1 or 2 rounds too slow. And then it just becomes a T-side team who can completely steamroll the game with all the momentum, individual players also popping off. And even though, like, Keto had a good game, Sursen in the end also had a decent game with the AWP, it wasn't enough. Heroic were just too good of a unit.
Well, I think that's the problem. Like with a lot of the time, like when we spoke to Sprout earlier, they talk about, okay, it's the more experienced players within the roster trying to set up those youngsters, but the problem with that is the more experienced players on Heroic are actually some of the ones that are fragging the hardest. So if you're doing similar things, but then they also have that extra fragging power, that leaves you in a position where you're always going to be outmatched. And that was the thing. Like, every single member of Heroic had their moments. The player toward the top of the board, Baruch was fantastic with like the entries into the T side. Yeah. I think that's why the T side actually was better for them, because there were multiple rounds where he just walked into the site and just destroyed players. And if he can do that here on Inferno, well, this is Heroic's trophy to lose now. This is the second map. This is their choice. And we're going to be going into them on that T side.
Inferno is always the decider when it comes to Counter-Strike, and this one it will be as well. It will be deciding if Heroic are going to 2-0 this final, or if we're going to go to a third and final map. Going to be 2 smokes, 2 flashbangs from S-Attack and Cadian. Spitty, flash smoke as well. No kit on the CT side. To remember this when we get into a post-plant situation, that means that Sprout will have to focus on the duels and then we'll have to win them quite quickly.
Yeah, Dennis going to be ready and waiting for this peak to come in. Flashbangs go over the top. Keto misses the shot, and that leaves an opening in the defense. Also, Dennis going to go down, and this already looks like a really problematic round now for Sprout. They do have a little bit of utility to get back into the site. I didn't catch whether or not there was actually a kit available for Sprout either, so at least for now, they're going to have to move very quickly indeed to get back into the site. And with the T's already set up in after-plant positions, it looks like they're almost just waiting for a mistake.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's going to be one coming.
No, Heroic are going to play this fairly standard, and then they're going to rotate out of the site through short and all the way down into middle. As we do see this round here playing out, I think, Sprout are just totally giving up. A good tip for those of you guys at home, if you're playing at a decent level yourselves, go download the demo. This T-round pistol strat is so easy to copy. Let's just see if S-Attack will get this one. So basically all you do is you throw a lurk smoke out of the apartments, then you have the flashbang timing coming in from Cadian, you throw that over 2 flashbangs towards the pit position, and then you just push in. The second you have gotten the pit player, the kill on him, you throw the smoke into, I guess Americans call it moto, we call it small sand in Denmark. Basically the rotation cut off on the left side of the bomb site. All you need is 2 smoke, the lurk smoke and the moto smoke, and then 2 flashbangs from the guy in the back line, and you have a very, very nice T-pistol strat. So that's one you can definitely go home and copy yourself.
Well, the CT side, this is not a purchase that many people would copy at all. Spitty's got himself a Nova to play with.
Okay.
Nice shot from Searson, though.
That's insane.
The opening pick. In the meantime, S-Tag's going to take control of Banana. At least keep the map control in the favor of Heroic, even if they have to lost the first man. And just look at the position of Stown. He's looking to try and do this on his own already. Spotting out Dennis, gets that first opener and leaves just 1 defender of this A site. The rotation is going to be coming in, but Keto has a lot to do already and not going to be able to connect a single shot. And it leaves the remaining CT players somewhat out of the action, and he almost have to feel like this is worth just falling back and saving. But instead, with the aggressive peaks coming in, a nice shot as well. I didn't even see that hit. I was quite surprised by that.
The scouts are really paying off right now. Most importantly is that they bring the SG and the AK into the next round. Spitty's already saving his Nova, because this next one for Sprout is going to be the Eco. So saving these 2 weapons to bring into the next one is going to be fine. They can also drop the Deagle over. Faven might even play with the Deagle and drop the Scout to Searson in the next one, but it's going to be a full Eco, no investment from Sprout in this upcoming one.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like, Holding an angle with a Nova is plausible.
Yeah.
Retaking with a Nova?
Doing anything else than holding a very tight angle with a Nova is stupid.
Well, plant deep enough that they should just be able to survive in this corner without any real problems.
Well, we'll go down to 12.
More importantly, they do keep the weapons.
Yeah, exactly. The two expensive one, and then the Mac 10 they can use in this round to potentially find some money. If they go for a B execute, that'll be the first weapon going in towards the side. Which in this situation, I would always favor the B execute from the T side when there's no investment or just a few weapons saved. But let's wait and see Heroic what they do. Spread out of the default to begin with, taking the early banana control. Then it's actually pushing all the way down into mid here, just to clear the angle. But Heroic already made their way into the apartments. Susan just shot out completely. And it's going to be an A take now. They have gotten the apartments for free. That's the mid-round call. If we get apartments, we rush A.
They do have a decent amount of defense here, though. Faven spamming bullets away is not going to be able to get the kill, and there's a few tagged players. Now this time, I'm hoping Spitty at least attempts to get a kill. There's a bit more range on that Nova than you might expect.
He has to, because there's no way that he can use this next round anyways, so...
Are you trying to tell me he's not dedicated to the Nova?
I'm trying to tell you, this weapon will be thrown away. It doesn't matter if he gets a kill with it or not.
Yeah, the only real reason to save would be the Kevlar.
Yeah, that's...
A little bit of extra money. Of course, being the B-side player, you want to have as much utility as humanly possible, but
he has 2,900, so he's fine anyway. Let's see if we can get this. Not
doing a lot of damage. The thing is, there's a couple of low players on the other side, but he's taking the battle with one of the healthier ones. At least a smile across his face is something.
Full focus right now from Stown. We do see his double entry here with the Mac 10, and wasn't the B hit, but still the Mac 10 the first one, or the first ones to jump out and take the duels. Have the bonus round now for the T side. No op on the T side. Kaden has plenty of cash to buy it in the next one. 2 Mac 10s against the full buy of CT. Sprout needs to lock this down right now, because if Heroic gets this bonus round as well, their economy is going to be rolling. Good nade onto Faven. He'll be pressured back and on 57 HP, but Susan, nice shot from him. Taking out Cadian. Not the AWP duel, but still an important duel to win.
Yeah, this does come across as a little bit of a bonus round for the T side, however. They do have plenty of money to buy back into the next, so Sprout need to make sure they keep this one as clean as possible. Stown still trying to be a nuisance with this Mac 10. Do wonder if it might be worth just switching the AK over to Stown, considering Barup is so low, a bullet will be enough to take him down.
I see they just want to send Stown in and get that opening with the Mac 10. And then they can work out who to wield what weapons when they get into the post plant. But luckily for Sprout, they have 2 players on this bomb side, but they're both on the back end of it. That means these smokes and Molotov will be able to block them off. This is a standard angle to Molo, and they will do it. Faven hitting double shots though. The Molo actually not doing any damage.
He managed to find the sweet spot within it, and eventually it's going to be the round close. Nice job from Faven as well, because he easily could have died to either of the Molotovs. And the whole point of those Molotovs is if you do manage to avoid them, you're forced into this position where you're just stood in the open. But if he's going to connect the instant shot, even while on low HP, not much that Stown can do about it. Of course, as mentioned, the T's have plenty of money to buy back in, though. This is where the AWP comes up, the SGs, all the utility is available.
This is the real buy. This is the real test of strength, and they're going to start by playing 4-1, but on the opposite side of things, 4 players towards Banana for the CTs. Taking early banana control. Susan holding the apartment. Actually pushing far deep into the banana. Double entry on both sides of things. Apartments goes down, banana goes down. It's going to have to be a 2-2 split. Actually, they're going to split 3-1 now, Sprout. Or 2-1, excuse me. So, the banana player completely alone. But Heroic feeling like even if they do stack 2 players on this side and they'll have 2 players for the duel, it's still going to be an advantage. It's going to be a straight save.
Yeah. There needed to be something there from Faven if there was going to be any chance for them to win this round. And the second that shot is missed, We instantly see them just fall back into a save, so Heroic already going to have their 4th round onto the board here. CT side should be able to buy at least. And the Ts, well, they can probably lose a weapon or 2 in this scenario, but because of how costly the last round was, the likelihood is we're just going to see the majority of them save. You can see Stown being allowed to have that little bit of aggression, the leash not being thrown on just yet by Snappy. And actually, the rest of the team starting to aggress a little bit themselves. They do have to be careful that they don't end up harming their own economy too much, but any of these weapons being dropped by Sprout would reduce the chances of it buying the next round significantly.
All right, let's see. Cadian is clearing the lower angles, and they're not going to push further than this. 4-1 is the scoreline, all on the back of those 2 frags from early aggression. Can't really call the apartments play an early aggression, but still the banana play did not work out for the CT side. Got shot through the smoke. And then the SG versus Orb duel in the apartments over towards A was also going the way of Heroic. So the round fell apart thanks to 2 duels that went Heroic's way, and that's how quickly Inferno can go.
Yeah, worryingly as well, a slow start for Quito, who's been the one consistent factor for Sprout throughout this tournament so far. Nade doing a lot of damage. Cadian does get tagged in return, but definitely seems like a worthwhile trade.
Also because both CTs technically have to respect the banana control, even though the T side are not even holding it, thanks to that grenade.
When also it gives them that lack of information. It means that they have absolutely no idea where this push is going to be coming in. They do still have 3 defenders here. Already Dennis going to be able to pick off one. The crossfire with Quito. There we go. He has woken up. And Cadian a little bit late to the party, just lurking in from behind. With the bomb drop, the remaining CTs can opt to go for a rotation, still leaving 1 man behind just in case there is a flank. Searson within this site as well with the AWP is going to be so hard to clear out.
I think that might have been a missed smoke. They didn't hit the lurk smoke out of apartments. Maybe something the desk will touch up upon when this is over, but it didn't seem like the strat that Heroic wanted. Had all the same ingredients as the pistol round. 2 smokes, 1 moto. 1 should have been towards lurk position. Could have also just been towards the bicycle position down towards pit, but didn't work out for them. Sprout players individually were better, and the flashbang connections weren't good enough for Heroic.
Well, with the amount of money they still have in the bank, they are just going to opt to save their weapons. Hope to maybe take down one of the CTs, create some cost for Sprout, but should be keeping the double orb setup going. They've just got to be careful because Cadian is just homed in case anybody does go for an extra gun or 2. But a fairly cagey start to this match. It's not been those sort of all-star plays, those aggressive plays that we like to see. It's been more reserved from either side.
Definitely. Sprout especially. But also now first coming into the real form. Double up setup on the CT side. Searson's such a good AWPer in this specific angle.
Ooh.
Cadian gonna pop up. Whack-a-mole.
Seems like, yeah, Searson doesn't even know he's there. Luckily for the German, he is going to be able to get away without a scrape, and Faven on the other side of the map expecting somebody to be boosted over the logs, but as I said, a fairly cagey affair early in these rounds. No team wanting to give up that initial pick, which could cost them the round. Of course, the defense of the A site vastly improved in the last round with the crossfire of Dennis and Quito. Again, that was something that was mentioned by their management, that they have been putting the sort of young gun with the experience.
And that is the correct way to play it, I feel like. If that's your setup, if that is your lineup, then that is without a doubt the best way to play it.
It's actually contrasting to Crazy. I noticed that a lot of the time they'll have Emmy and Letney on the same side of the map and then have the young guns just...
But there might also be like a language thing. But they'll be able to communicate together.
That's true. Here we go, though. Execution coming in for the T side. 30 seconds left, and not a scrape on any of these CT players. They're just waiting patiently for players to push into their angle. The AWP shot hit, the bomb dropped to the deck as well by Searson. They have all the information. The rotation starts from the B site as they try to push past him, but Citizen just holding it down, and with 10 seconds left, again, the T's are just going to have to save. There's nothing they can do.
They ran out of utility to take the top mid, and if you don't flash Citizen off that corner, he's going to win that duel every single time. Like, he is so good, so you need that flashbang to kind of force him out. And they didn't have that. And when you give him the chance, like, he's just going to take it.
Yeah, for sure. As I said, he's been someone who has been performing well today.
Actually, that might have been a flash, but it was too late. I didn't really see that.
Yeah, I think it was.
So the timing was off. The flash was there. It's going to be a buy anyways for Heroic, opting to go for deagles and utility. This is going to be the round that forces them on an eco if they lose this one, Heroic. Spending all of their money on the CT side, a lot of cash in the bank. Citizen once again on point right now.
And you can see the confidence being gained by a lot of the members of this Sprout lineup now. We're getting more aggression out from Faven. We're seeing Citizen also starting to style on the Danes of Heroic. A few shots coming through the side of the wall, almost a shot connected, but Stack will live to fight another day, and he's going to be able to gain control at least for now. And at least force out a little bit of utility, but actually at the moment, Sprout seem to be doing quite well at just holding their utility down to the latter stages of this round. Already they're going to be rotating in a second drill. We're going to have a double orb set up on this B side, which I fear will be fairly difficult to get through, but that first kill could be all they need. Leaves just one man really defending this Spitty. All he can have to do is spam through the smoke, and he's left completely blind. Faven also being burnt out of the corner is going to go down to the flames. Spitty now again, it's looking like this might just have to be a save, and this seems to be the way this match is going. This is as cagey as it gets. Like, both teams just deciding it's far more important to keep their money strong than it is to risk it in these retakes.
Both teams are playing very, very defensive style, very aware of the money situation. No one wants to be the team going on an eco at this point, because Heroic knows that they're so close to their first international trophy. They're so close to the trophy. They were, I wouldn't say robbed, because Crazy definitely deserved it at Rotterdam, but a trophy that they could have taken in Rotterdam that they didn't get. Now they have the chance here at Atlanta, and they are now 11 rounds away, so they don't want to take any chances. Sprout also know that this is it. Like, if they lose here in Inferno, it's over. They're gonna have to go home with a second place, and that's not what they want either. So both teams here, a lot of pressure. And that's why we're seeing this very defensive gameplay in these kind of situations where 3 players saving on the opposite team almost every single round. This means so much to both sides right now. I think Spitty got knifed in the back by a teammate there. That's not what you want.
Canadian once again. Oh, just a split second before, and he could have had 2.
S-Attack just eats 2 nades.
And he's playing a game of catch, but unfortunately not with a ball.
Oh, wow.
Instead, Cadian's going to catch both players aggressing.
And now this problem is that you have 2 orbs remaining. Even though it's a 3v3, Faven has to hit the shot, and he will. Very nicely done. Can smoke himself off, play that solo B. Heroic is just aggressing through the smoke.
He's not missing at the moment. Faven again is just going to hold things down. A triple kill to close out that round. There was a few big plays in there. Like, that was the initial start of a 5 versus 3. Citizen on the other side of the map gets a pick, and then Faven just with a triple kill to hold down this defense.
Very nicely done by Faven this round. Also a great secondary AWP. We have seen him, of course, swing the rifle many a times, but he is kind of like a simple asset player where he can play both if needed to, on the CT side especially. Will not do it on the CT side ever, but on the CT side if needed to, he can definitely do that. Such a skilled player as well. Such an important pickup for Sprout. Definitely going to be one of their franchise players in years to come.
We are 19 years of age. Still a long, long time left in Counter-Strike for him.
Positioned aggressively for this one. A flash could ruin his position, or a peek, but he's ready for it.
Can he get away? That's the thing. They're going to look to hunt him down. He's still hitting the shots. And he leaves Spitty to try and buy time for the rotations, but we're up again. We spoke about the entries on train. He's managed it once more. Risky from Quito. He tries to do it all on his own. And again, he buys some time. He does a lot of damage. That's now a big possibility. Nade over the top is actually going to deny the bomb.
That's perfect. That is a 200 IQ nade.
And it leaves Down on his own. 17 years of age. 45 seconds left on the clock. This is going to come down to timing as he looks to try and retreat, make his way back, potentially towards the A site. He has a fairly quick route in that direction in comparison to the CTs in the direction they'll have to go, and they still haven't realized he's going to have the plant and the setup afterwards. Can choose where he wants to plant the bomb. Of course, he doesn't know how close they actually are. They still have not realized that he hasn't left. Now we see that rotation coming in. Searson alongside Dennis to try and clutch this out. It's Down, rightly so, going to try and get aggressive. He's on low HP. He needs to find one of these picks and turn it into 1 versus 1. Unfortunately, he's got the positioning wrong, but hits the timing perfectly. Dennis going to go down, and now it comes into the AWP battle. Searson looking to get onto that bomb, knowing his opponent only has an AWP, and just trying to bait him in, but the knife isn't going to be going. Above him comes Searson, and he'll be clutching out the round. Outbrains the youngster, and equalizes the scoreline.
It's actually quite crazy to think about. Like, Down was born the year where I tried Counter-Strike the first time.
Let's not talk about age in this scenario.
That's insane. Like, he was literally born in 2002.
Yeah.
Not good enough in this round.
Is that like a little dig? It's like,
yeah,
well, he's not good enough now.
Martin is a good guy.
Well, yeah, 17 years of age. I can't say I'm not jealous.
Hashtag onto Essa. Just to a wall there. I think that was just a corner onto Down.
He's going to double down on the clutch from the last round. Mac 10 going to be retrieved. This is actually a full investment from Heroic as well.
Yeah.
This is all of their money into this round, and well, from the start, it's not been going particularly well. And the backwards and forwards nature means that neither team currently has any real loss bonus. But this is a chance for Sprout to really build into this CT side. We still expect it to lean in that direction. Incendiary going to go down, but it's a little bit late. Luckily, Dennis is there, finally getting onto the scoreboard, padding those stats versus the pistols, and Searson already going to be spotting out S-Tag. The thing is, from this point, without any damage done, well, 2 damage done.
Okay. I was about to say if Kaden gets a free AWP here.
It's still a possibility, because I don't think there's any reason for Faven to expect him to still be here, but, well, if you peekaboo right into his crosshair, that's going to make things just that little bit easier. Looking like the potential for a flawless round, and with only 20 seconds left, it's probably better for S-Tech to just die here. 6-5, at least evens up the money. They can't really go for much into this next round anyway. As said, it's not been streaks, it's been backwards and forwards, it's been brawly, it's been lots of saves along the way.
Nice play from Dennis here in this position. Even though it's just against an eco, he does exactly what he's supposed to do.
I think one of the players might have even had an AK.
Yeah.
So it's important kills, and the fact that he's, again, had a very slow start to the match, just a little bit of a confidence booster. He's playing a pretty important role within that A site as well.
Yeah, definitely not an eco, by the way, now that I think back, but a couple of pistols and an AK. Now this is going to be an eco. Talking about economy. Full push into mid. The timing of the flashbangs. Searson comes under pressure. Rotation has come in. Speedy is actually the one to get the first duel, and they're just going to go straight down. That was very quick.
Yeah, important that Keto just shuts that down, doesn't allow them to overwhelm him, which is definitely something that can happen with those pistols when you have that many players rushing into your position. The lead now taken by Sprout on their CT side, and well, you've got the usual suspects at the top of the board. The important 3, you would say, for this Sprout roster. And on the other side, S-Tag with a slow start to the game. Keto, I think he may have been given this off just based off of his position, off of the timing.
That's a good flashbang. Nice counter smoke from the CT side. Will allow them to get the banana control. Will win this duel in apartments, though. Because if they get this heroic, they're going to go for the A push, but now it's a 1-for-1 trade on that bomb side.
Ooh, the timing there a little bit off for Faven as well. The aggression starting to punish them as it's a missed shot from Keto. Definitely keep the AWP the other way around. It seems to work much better for Faven. Spitty trying to get back in time. Actually hits S-Tag with the grenade. But the position already being taken. Searson again, though. He seems so good at just finding these trade frags back. The problem is, they don't really have much going into this retake. May just opt to try and hold some of these players out. They can risk their own weaponry because they have so much cash in the bank. It's whether or not they're actually going to fight for the retake.
I think it's fair enough to go for it here. With so little amount of rounds left, I think they should go for it no matter what. And they're going to try it, see if they can get the miracle. Katie and the boys must know that this push is on now. One player in the clutch corner, Cadian. On the second box, the timer is ticking out. There's no time here for Searson. He just has to do as much damage to the economy as he can, and that's it. Like, he gets the frag onto Cadian, the two other players are too far away. Money's not going to be an issue for Sprout for the rest of this first half. But they won't get the round.
Yeah, another one onto the board. Still a very close affair within this match so far. The streak of rounds coming out from Sprout comes to an end, but as you mentioned, they've built so much financially in this scenario. And even that little bit of extra damage could mean that going into the final round could go wrong, but we finally see actually an opener coming back in the other direction. S-Tag.
I think S-Tag at the front spawn there.
Also, he was AWPing in this roster before Katie joined as well.
Definitely. He's once again like Faven, very, very good secondary AWPer to have. They actually have like 2 secondary AWPers, both down and S-Tag.
Well, and you can even talk about Snappy being the primary AWPer in this roster before, like a while ago, but it definitely was the case. Keto, he's been given that AWP once again. It's actually picked off the body of his teammate, but this time he's connecting the shot, doing work with the AWP, and has given his team a decent chance.
This is possible now. This is 2v2. Like, the money is fine for Sprout to rebuy in the next round anyway, so they should go for this once again. Waiting for the smoke to clear, and then pushing in the next 5 seconds, I feel like. Secondary smoke landing up for the CTs. Okay, S-Tag. Through the smoke, no worries. And Spitty now in a 1v2 with the bomb ticking away. He's going to save the AWP.
Yeah, obviously they've been running a double AWP setup for the majority of the match, so although they will have the finances for it, Spitty is the one that actually is out of cash, and Searson likely want to invest into the AWP with all the utility available to him, so we're going to see that scoreline equalize once again. Of course, this map definitely not as CT-sided as it used to be, and both of these teams have proven that, or even in train, that they can both pull out rounds on the T side, so no matter what way this ends up going, the match definitely isn't done just yet.
This play from Keto, though. Imagine if he gets this, like this fourth one.
And that's sort of the worry, though, really, is he did that much and they still lost the round. That's happened a couple of times as well. Once again, we're going to see this running boost over the top. Timing not quite there this time for Heroic to try and fight that back, and actually going to take an elevated angle to give Searson another chance to take the shot, but nothing really found Faven with the AWP back in his hands as well. I think that's a good scenario, and they're just barreling utility in that direction. I don't really blame them. It's been quite a common spot so far for Sprout. Actually, they're going for a bit of a re-peek. Risky one at that. Spitty close to being able to find the shot. Even going to retrieve the AWP. I'm wondering if that would be the right decision down the line. Searson, he gets away with this so often. Pushing all the way down mid.
Unfortunately, he doesn't cast one there, but the timing onto ramp will be perfect.
How's he going to survive here, though? Actually hits the shot at Cadian.
Close! Cadian 7 HP.
A little bit unlucky there, but now things seem to fall apart. That one kill could have made all the difference as Cadian picks up another, leaving Dennis. He got 2 of his kills in this pit position prior. He's in an elevated one into the graveyard here. We'll be able to get the first. Trying to reposition, trying to be surprising, covering his steps with the bullets. Are they going to expect him to be in this corner after being around on the side just moments ago? No, they're not. He gets the second. Smart play from him. Almost manages to finish off Barup. But again, it's a chance, and it's Keto in the clutch.
Well, if I had to have one player from Sprout in a 1v2 situation to finish the first half, I would have Keto and no one else. does have a kit, he does have a smoke. The only worrying thing that he doesn't have a flashbang or a Molotov to flush out positions. If he had full utility right now, I think he could do it. He has to get lucky now and get the correct fights.
And there's a crossfire in the AWP watching the angle. It shouldn't be much of a chance for him to get back. Smoke might give him the battle. Actually hits the shot through, and he is going to find that first pick of the bomb into the corner. There's a possibility here. He's just going to try and hold that defusal. Cadian looking to come round, and he'll finish him with the deagle. It is going to be the half taken by Heroic. 8-7 into their favor, but it couldn't be closer as we go to one final break before this is decided. Well, if Heroic have anything to say about it, this is going to be the final half of Counter-Strike played in DreamHack Atlanta, but Sprout are the ones standing in their way. Maybe an unexpected finalist, but the way they performed today, I don't think you can really take anything away from them. They go into this T-side pistol as we're going to have an all-out battle on this banana position. Snappy blinded out. Faven already going to be getting the opener and the second as well alongside those flashbangs. But there's still two men within this site, S-Tag and Cadian, just waiting for the push to come in, looking for these players already. Managing to find out one, a second and a third. Quickly coming, Cadian with the triple kill. Looking to close the round, and he'll find it at that. Big plays coming out from him, and that is going to be the pistol going the way of Heroic. And I have to say, I love the strat.
That's such a brainy play as well, like deciding to go for the double stack banana, and then, oh, okay, actually 4 players there. Cadian, I think he disconnected his headset or something when he got up to cheer on the crowd. Wait a second for him to get back into the game. Those are like the kind of reactions that I love to see in Counter-Strike. Like, I don't think we get those enough. I don't think we have enough players like Cadian who pop off and do that stuff. I think the American teams are generally better at it.
I think if this was like a sitcom, like Cadian would be everybody's favorite character at the show.
Yeah, for sure.
He's one of those people who just, it definitely brightens up everyone's day, especially with plays like that. And the good thing is he has the skill to back it up as well. The way he's been performing, currently sat at the top of the board for his team. I think maybe even in the top of the server now after that round. Searson and Faven still performing very well, and Faven with a couple of important entries into that one, but I don't think anybody would have expected there to be 2 players pushing aggressive and 2 players passive within the site. It was a smart little pistol round thrown in. Of course, if it had gone in the other direction, they'd gone towards A, it could have been a very different story, but I imagine that's a read that's been thrown in.
Oh, definitely. They probably have like some statistics of what strategy and what side Sprout are most likely to go on T-pistols of Inferno, and then they felt like, all right, I'm gonna have to gamble on this one.
I wish we could get like like instead of just saying like if it's a tech pause, just say technical pause and then the reason, and just says dash Cadian.
Cadian was too hype. We need like a minute. It's actually funny because like this probably isn't known to most of the English guys, but when Cadian was without a team, we had him on for I think 6 tournaments in a row as a color commentator on Danish TV, and he's actually really good at that as well.
I'm not surprised. Well, he's been on some of the English broadcasts in the past as well. One of the first, I would say, probably the first paid gig I ever did. He was an analyst back, so he's been around a long time, and it's definitely good to see him back playing.
He can do anything, Tom. Like name something he can't do.
It's not really fair, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and he has hair.
All right, rub it in.
It's gonna be an eco now.
Okay.
It's gonna be an eco now for Sprout. 2 MP9s. And a UMP 45 on the heroic side. That will be the bonus, and that'll be the weapons that they keep in the next round, if I know them correctly. They're not going to upgrade this, even if all of them survive.
Me and Bok are going to go and hit the gym, and then you'll be sorry.
Kind of like that Rick and Morty
exactly
sequence.
like that,
okay.
But without the injection.
Okay, fair enough.
Be all natural. Getting a little bit dicey for Stown. That will be his gun drop. Snappy attempting the pre-fire, but he's going to run out of bullets.
Faven 2 times.
And again, yeah, he seems to be king of banana at the moment.
Cadian, this is a risky play, but the flashbang is perfect. He's going to get all 3. And that is such a risky play as well, because if he gets that flashbang a tiny bit too early or a tiny bit too late, he's going to get shot out of the bomb side. They're going to get the M4 and the bomb side, and the round is actually over, and that's going to be a Deagle round win.
He even does catch himself a little bit with the flash as well. So,
but it's such a big play, like it's such a big gamble. So many things can go wrong in that scenario, but he makes it work.
Yeah, well, he's currently got double the kills of anybody else on his team, so he is performing to the max at the moment. The man truly stepping up in the grand final.
Oh, the Molotov.
Here we go, an aggressive play forward. There's so many players here for the CT side once again. Stepping things up, but again, it's going to be Faven to get a double entry. Now they double back towards S-Tag, who's able to get one. The flashbang's just a little bit too late. Going to try and retrieve that weapon. Searson just waiting. Any sort of sound could give it away. S-Tag almost gets the kill onto Dennis, but he's still standing. Bomb is going to be able to go down. For now, at least, the CT side are smoked out.
The nade and the Molotov on Stown is going to be very, very important for this round, especially with Dennis on 3 HP and him being in the pit position, which is a position that is usually either naded or Molotov as soon as you know it. See a deep nade now coming in, surely. It might be misplaced now, but all the utility are going into pit. Dennis has found the only position where he's not going to be able to get touched by this. Smoke on the bomb, and then trying to take the duels, I think is the name of the game, but Dennis is in a perfect position.
Yeah, Searson as well, just holding that crossfire, making things very difficult. And Cadian, with so many players still to kill, just wants to get that one and then get out of there. Damaging the economy, at least, of Sprout moving forward, and both players will end up surviving. This is going to be a tough decision for both sides of the investment. Of course, the T's are going to be buying. They won the round, but for the CT side, okay, Cadian saved. He'll be able to drop over a gun, but everybody else financially is going to be screwed.
That is true. They're gonna go for the buy here. 2 pistols, an AWP on Cadian, and then the dropped over gun, as you said, is gonna go to Borup. Oh, the jump. And that messed the whole thing up. Gonna try to retake the AWP, but actually the Snappy will just get it just in time. And what is this Stown actually able to get out with a frag? And we talked about Snappy's ability with the AWP. It's been a while, but he's still pretty decent with this weapon.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get the pick back as well, an important one of that. No trade available.
Now they're going to play 2-1.
This is the shot, and this actually gives some space over to Searson, but I wonder if he's just going to be selling the fake. The remaining players, they are going to start making their way forward into his direction, and look how far forward Searson's actually managed to get, but he doesn't expect Barup. trying to be the hero instead. Ends up being the man that gifts a free kill over to the CT side.
One smoke on Spitty. And I think CT smoke has faded now, so they need to put down that smoke. That means that there's nothing to kind of clear out Snappy's position. So he's going to have free... Actually, they will use it not for CT, but for exactly Snappy's position, which in this situation is the right call, but a hard one to make. But he has found another one, just like DJ Khaled. And Snappy's just on point.
Dennis hoping that he can clear some of the other angles before having to fight versus Snappy. The problem is he's only got 15 seconds. I think he may even just have to fall into a save here. Going to be spotting for Barak. No, he's around the angle, wins that battle at least, but with 10 HP, I don't think there's anything he can do here. And while Snappy knows it as well, just going to try and hide within the corner. The CT side don't really have anything that they can throw at him, so Dennis likely to just be able to save, and well, S-Tag will at least retrieve a rifle in the end. It's another round stolen away by the CT side on their risky force buy. And more importantly, the T's are now going to have no money.
Snappy's op in this round here has been perfect, and even though they try to block him off with the smoke, he still finds the angle and still finds the duel. It's going to be 2 MP9s now, and focus on utility for Heroic, which once again is the right position, the right call. Bunch of pistols on the T side, some armor, but it's going to be all on Dennis. Dennis has to make it happen because he has the head armor in this situation. Deep smoke actually from the CT side, but the T's are so far up right now.
Yeah, looking like they're going to maybe boost Dennis over, try and give him that little bit of vision, but the CT side have opted to stay passive here. And to be honest, the entries onto Banana from Sprout have been very good. But actually getting to the site, that's where they've had their problems. There have been a couple of rounds now where there's been players at the back of the site that they haven't been able to clear. I think a lot of that comes down to limitations in their buys. Because, of course, we saw from Heroic in the previous half the amount of Molotovs they throw into the back of the site just to try and clear these players out instead.
All right. So run boost over and then trying to run into the bomb site. Here we go.
Managing to get fairly far, but it's going to be Cadian to actually close out one, and with the smoke down, you can't really expect anything here from the remaining players of this T side. Nice work from Spitty at least to trace the bullets back through the smoke.
What Spitty would like to do right now is actually just save the weapon. Because Dennis is not going to have any money whatsoever in this upcoming round. But then again, Spitty wouldn't have either, so it's a tough one. It's going to be four weapons and a deagle. What I think I actually do really like about the run boost there is that what it's supposed to do is basically fake out the guy who's standing on top of coffins. So he kills the run boost player first, which doesn't matter because there's a Glock. And then the AK player steps in just around the corner and takes the duel. Just a nice little detail there, but doesn't really work out for Sprout, but I like the attention to detail from them.
Yeah, I think the problem was when the smoke came down, because then it's sort of like you run boosted this player and then there's a smoke in your way for Dennis to try and do anything. It's very, very difficult. 12 to 8, the T's are going to have another purchase, but again, there'll be limitations. Cadian just going to be waiting, but he walks away. The flashbang's good. He is just about going to be able to get around the corner, though. Some counter utility, a lot, in fact. Double smoke thrown down, but the nades have done so much damage. 3 players tagged up as they try to make their way out of the apartments. One of them will fall. Trade at least back around the arch side, which does leave an opening, but the remainder are all trying to push their way through short.
They can't get through right now.
I like this from the T's. Reset your position. The only problem is they've got no grenades.
It's down, though. Almost completing his rotation as Spitty is holding for someone to push for information. They're actually going to get this bomb site for free, I feel like. No smoke for CT. Doesn't even matter now because Down is gone with his team. It's going to be a 4v4 retake. The money on Heroic is good enough for them to actually try and attempt, at least for the first couple of duels. I feel like they should at least go for it, see if they can get a couple of frags. If they get the opening frag, then go for it for real. The second that one player dies, yeah, they should just get the hell out of them. They're actually not even going to take the chance. They're saying, we got 12 rounds, we're on the CT side, we're just going to save this money, maybe get Snappy on a deagle next round. Actually, might even be able to drop in a weapon and then get a full buy going next round. We're not even going to take the chance here.
Yeah, they can easily, especially with the little bit of loss bonus, Down can buy whatever grenade he wants, probably an incendiary, and then just drop a gun over. So it's not really a problem for them. It's only a problem if they lose some players along the way, but The T's aren't going to be hunting. Their money is in the toilet as well. There's going to be another round onto the board for Sprout, but that doesn't really feel like much of a victory for them. Because again, you have to wonder if Stam was there, maybe, especially with a couple of low players. I think that's the other thing. Like, the reason we would maybe expect more of an attempt is because we saw how much damage the utility did.
Yeah.
Whereas for Heroic, they have absolutely no idea that they'd tag 3 players that low.
No.
But yeah, complete fallback for the CT side, so don't really take any risks here. The Canadian is actually going to hit the leg shot onto Quito as well. So again, the German going to be left tanked. Definitely not having one of his better matches. In fact, a fairly quiet performance, 12 and 12 at the moment. They're going to need him to re-enter the server in a big way. And speaking of that, Stam's going to go pushing.
That's such a good push as well. Even though he only trades 1 for 1, maybe a little bit of extra damage, but he gets so much information about what the play was for Sprout. Like, you don't really have a player in that position on the banana unless you want to do something later on. That means that they can keep their 2-2 split and not go into a 1-3, focus on the A bomb side, as you maybe would do back on the information that Kaden got earlier in the round. So they're going to have to hold their horses on this B bomb side. Borup, no utility. Snappy, 1 Molotov. And that Molotov will probably drop down. So the terrorists have to run through it with 40 seconds to go. And there we go. That's exactly what it is. It's going to be extinguished by the smoke.
Oh, Snappy almost caught, but he is going to survive. He's now the only defender and actually falls. A couple of good entries coming in for the remaining players of Sprout.
2v2.
Going to allow them to get the bomb down. And with the rotation already coming in, Searson in quite an aggressive position. Needs at least a kill, at least. You can see still some utility to be expended.
Here comes the flashbang.
Flashbang can be thrown in to give some space. Nice shot from Estag, leaves it all onto Quito. This would be the moment for him to go nuclear, but already tagged so low. 26 HP is all he's got. Misses the initial shot. That was the chance. And now forced into the corner. Molotov going through Acadian, just one taps him with the P250. They'll have the time for the defusal and a 13th onto the ball for Heroic, but luckily that bomb plant at least gives an opportunity for Sprout to keep fighting.
Really nice retake as well from the 2B players. Also, they had the advantage that there wasn't that much left utility-wise for the T side. They had to just go for the duels. Nice little pop flash into Ruins to clear out Searson's angle, because as you said, normally with that angle, with no utility on the CT side, he has to get at least a 1 for 1 and buy time. But when that pop flash comes in, it becomes so hard for him to hold the angle. So either he has to rotate all the way back and then not get killed in the rotation, or take the fight straight up. Both are bad options, and he took, have to choose one of them, right?
Yeah. Well, you do have to wonder if he hits that initial shot onto Cadian, there's a possibility that the round goes his way, especially with the amount of time that was left on the clock. But in a grand final, the ifs and buts don't really mean anything anymore.
No.
It's Heroic firmly within the driver's seat. Of course, as said, there is still going to be a buy, and the money on the CT side is not anything impressive. Sprout are not out of this match just yet. I hope they're not mentally either.
It's only the Mac-10 on Faven that's holding them away from a perfect buy. I feel like this is a good chance still for Sprout to get something done. Faven is sitting in the smoke. Stout is just spraying. He's just spraying every single angle. They heard some damage was being done earlier, and then Stout just saying, okay, I'm going to take a shot. But that was the weakest weapon on Sprout removed. They still have 4 very capable ones left.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me is it may have been the weakest weapon, but it is the best player so far for Sprout, especially when it comes to their entry frags.
That's
like he's been the man opening up the sights for them the majority of the time, so the fact that he's the first to go down, I feel like this almost has to be a play towards the A side, because he's been the one doing the work towards B. They're going to take this early presence, but it's almost been given up by the CT side. They're going to be playing 2 around that short side into the pit, which is always going to be very difficult to clear, especially if you've got no utility, which is something that the Ts are currently without. No incendiaries, no nades to try and just blast Cadian out of this spot.
They're selling the archway right now. They're just saying archway is open. Be careful of the CT spawn rotate.
Well, Snappy's literally just rotated around to watch that angle just in case.
And that's fine, because the way that they do it is that they do it with 30 seconds left. That puts so much pressure on Sprout to make all the noise. So now they know it's going to be a B play. Snappy's going to hear this. He's going to call for it. And he's at least going to get one here. 1-for-1 trade and time being bought.
Yeah, the thing is that it's still down to Stout. He needs to do something here, and he only gets one. So that's at least a bomb plant brought in for Sprout, which, all considering, that's a nice shout. Or shot for Searson.
Such an important shot from Searson in that situation. If he doesn't get that, it's not guaranteed. Curtains.
S-Tag with the spray, and look how low both of these players are. In fact, Cadian hits the shot, so does S-Tag. They make that retake look way too easy. 14-9, just 2 needed, and it's already been spoken about that when it comes to these players within the server, trophies are not something that we see within their cabinet.
No. And I know for a fact that the heroic owners would love to have a trophy for the Copenhagen office.
It'd be wonderful, something to showcase. But you could say the same for the other side.
Yeah.
Like, with the depth of experience that's currently there, the trophies definitely haven't been flowing. So,
and also 2 teams who have been kind of used as like training facilities for some of the bigger teams in their nation. Like for some of the bigger teams in their regions, like Sprout losing players to Big sometimes, Heroic losing players to North and Astralis. But now they have the chance of winning something themselves and saying, hey, there's no reason to leave any of these teams. We actually can win trophies on our own. There is no upgrade. We are the upgrade.
Well, we've seen that before. Normally, a lot of careers are kicked off with an open.
That is true.
Talk the likes of Ents even doing it.
And that was a miracle run at DreamHack Winter last year.
We'll see. Avangar as well.
Yeah. DreamHack Rio.
And even some of the earlier days from Furia as well. But we'll see if this is going to be the moment for Heroic. This round at least should be a fairly simplistic one, although Faven's still able to get entries into that B site, even with just a Deagle. There has to be a safer play. Molotov going over, lots of nades being thrown in. Faven just waiting in the smoke, and Snappy just spraying through it. Ridiculous stuff, just looking to close this down. Dennis trying his hardest, but he's not going to be able to do anything, and they're just 1 round away from that trophy.
1 more round for Cadian and the boys to bring this one home. Cadian, who is probably, if the US crowd here is looking for someone to cheer for, lived for almost a year in Nevada, so has taken that American tradition and culture with him back home to Denmark.
Here we go, though. Sprouts, final battle. They need 6 rounds in a row. That's a good start. Searson already going to be getting that opener on test. Of course, Heroic can't get ahead of themselves here.
No.
They've been in a final before, and literally the last open, and didn't go the way they were hoping.
And also, they're still like, they should never underestimate the side of Sprout. Even though they're up like 59 and they can almost taste the victory, we always see like the individual qualities of, let's say, a Searson opening this one up. Like, they're never giving up until it's done. But I feel like Heroic has that like under control. Like, they know exactly what to do to not underestimate their opposition in this scenario. To play 100% until the end, whenever that end may come.
Well, even still, with a man disadvantage, money's still not the best on that CT side. They'd like to get it done here before things do start to get out of control, before the money slips away. And then they really do have a battle on their hands. If they can finish it here, it would be the story sold, and already Stout is going to be spraying down 1. Cadian looking for a little bit more, but he doesn't manage the shot, has to get back around the corner. Once again, it's looking like that split. They managed this before. They managed to get a round, but it wasn't the round win.
The read is there for Cadian, though. He's already heard the smoke go down. He's relaying this information to his teammate. Either they're already through or they're still in arch, so Snappy has to be on point now.
The thing is, he's not actually changed his gaze at all. He's got to be very careful, because they are going to be wrapping in behind him. He's left on the site, and Spitty's going to finish him off without any response.
All right, that's the save. That's the round for Sprout. They're still in this, double digits now.
Yeah, and as mentioned, money not great. Now, saving a couple of guns could definitely make the difference. Cadian, with the extra cash in the bank, may even be able to drop a couple of guns.
Yeah, they're going to get the buy going here. At max, 1 player with a Desert Eagle, but they're probably going to get an MP9, or maybe even a weapon no utility on him. So this is not a problem yet. But it's going to keep on rolling. They're going to be on an eco. if they lose this next one.
Yeah, the problem is the way that the map has been going for Sprout so far is they've only managed individual rounds on their T side. They won the 3rd round in the second half, the 6th one as well. But each time there was multiple for Heroic in return, and while, unless the pressure does get to them, they only need one. We are going to see a pause taken.
You want a translation? Katie's saying, I'm taking off my shirts, guys. This is it. No need to wear the hoodie anymore. We need to show the sponsor logos, guys. So please be aware. All right, we can talk strats now.
It's one of those things that if it does work, magnificent.
It's kind of, I don't know, like usually Americans, Brits for that matter, don't watch a lot of cycling, but in cycling you have like a big outer jacket. You take that off when you're about to cross the goal, the finish line, so you can show love to all the sponsors. That's exactly what Kaden is doing now. He's been riding with the jacket the whole stage.
But if they do lose this round...
Yeah, he's cursed.
Yeah, it's not going to be as impressive. They have to do it here and now, and their finances back that up as well. If they don't win this round, it's where Sprout really do have the opportunity to get back into things. It is going to be an attempt for Banana. Cadian looking to lead the charge, 23-7. He has been phenomenal throughout this grand final, the star of the show. Can he continue here? Yes, it's going to be the first kill going his way. Spitty is dropped and down again, spraying through the smoke, doing so much damage. Almost closes out Faven. Even gets around the corner without falling either.
And they're very happy with this right now. Very happy with this.
In the meantime, we are going to have the presence of the T's edging their way in towards this A site, looking for the setup. Weapon's going to be juggled around. It'll be Searson taking that AK-47 on the low player of Faven with the AWP. Snappy only with a UMP. Could be a bit of a detriment, as this arch control has been something that has been fought for multiple times. He's going to be sat there ready and waiting, even looking for the timing, but almost gets caught out. Looks for the spray and doesn't get anything. He does a lot of damage, but it's not the kills that were needed. This time it's looking like they are just going to wrap back around.
They're both in pit right now. Both CTs in pit.
They're actually going to go for a boost as well. Barup, the nade, lands right near his opponent. Already managing to get that first kill. Spots the second. The spray down's in as well. It's left just on to Searson and Faven to try and hold on. And Faven, he's actually managed to catch one with the AWP in middle. Switching over to the rifle, trying to clear the pit, but he fails. It's left on to Searson to try and save them in the grand final, and he's not going to do it. It will be Heroic with the victory as they get themselves the 16-10. You could see the celebrations already beginning, and a long-awaited trophy for many of these players. It's been a long time coming, that's for sure.
Commiserations to Sprout. They played such a good tournament. Not enough in the final. It's these boys right here on the left side of the stage. The Danes to lift the trophy. They couldn't do it in Rotterdam. They went all the way across the pond, all the way to America, and here they can lift their first DreamHack Open trophy.
Well, here we go. Just going to be, of course, saying the commiserations to the opponent. As you mentioned, I do think this was a good showing from Sprout at this tournament. And hopefully we're going to see a lot more of them within the tour, of course. But as you mentioned, these are the players that we are looking at. These are the players that coming into this tournament we expected to take the victory. The youngster of Stown leading up to go and take the trophy. Here are your DreamHack Atlanta champions of Heroic.
Going to be able to take it. They came close in Rotterdam. They marched their way back to the grand final here in Atlanta. And now they get to enjoy this moment. And damn, they looked pretty darn good. We're going to break down all of the action, how they managed to hoist up that trophy on the main stage here on this Sunday, on this stop in the DreamHack Open. Let's actually talk about what they were able to do, Potter.
Oh man, Heroic have been impressive throughout this entire weekend, and I think the storyline for Heroic and this unit and this squad is their ability to adjust in that mid-game. Their mid-round calling, their adjustments coming out from each player. It was impressive to watch, and I think the key thing about this young lineup is their eagerness and their hunger in each one of these players, the fire coming out of Cadian, all of it was impressive. It was very impressive.
I just love the fact that everything Heroic did throughout this weekend was talking about how the only thing that mattered for them was to win this tournament. They didn't want to lose a match. They didn't want to go home on second place. They basically said that if we don't win this tournament, it'll be a failure. And what did they do? They walk in here, they don't lose a map, they win 2-0, 2-0, they win 2 best of ones, and there was never really a point during this tournament where you felt Heroic is in danger of losing a map. That is impressive.
I mean, you know you're in a pretty good spot when the only critique we can have on the desk is you didn't win hard enough, right? Every time they come out and win, the only critique we have is, could they have had a more convincing win? Well, you can't have a more convincing win than this. Definitely well-deserved by them. It's also pretty clear why coming into this one, they were such a favorite. And also, we can see the consistency in the roster, right? This is 2 stops in a row where they make it to that grand final. And this time they're going to make sure that there aren't any questions that they're the champion.
Well, it's quite simple, right? They have the better individuals, they have the best foundation, they have a great structure behind the lineup as well. They have an in-game leader who's playing hearts out throughout this tournament as well in Snappy. So I think everything that could go right for Heroic throughout this weekend went exactly as they wanted to. Right now, looking at the teams that has been at this tournament, I think there's no doubt saying that Heroic are the truly right champions.
Definitely so, and what a storyline coming out of Heroic. I mean, ever since the little roster changes, thinking back in the summer when Snappy joined, when Cadian joined, when Borup joined, Heroic was already on that upward trajectory, but they never crossed that finish line. They never achieved a notable international trophy such as this, and in Rotterdam, they got so close, and finally, these guys are the champions.
Yeah, and I mean, all of the critiques were just so small for them throughout the entirety of the event. And I feel like one of the things we continued to talk about every time we looked at a team was, what are their expectations? What should their goal be?
Sure.
And we never looked at their statement that anything less than a win was a loss for them, and anything less than winning the grand final would make the tournament essentially a waste for them. We never said that that was out of bounds for them.
No, not at all. And I think they just delivered, as we wanted them to. A word that we've been using about pretty much every single team at this tournament has been consistency and lack thereof. The only team who's consistently been performing at a high level throughout this tournament has been Heroic. There wasn't a single point where you would argue, all right, yes, they didn't win big enough. Yes, they potentially made it close against Virtus Pro in one of the maps, but that's it, right? Apart from that, it was consistently just them being better than everyone else.
They were better than everyone else, and I think it has to do with their preparation. We saw it time and time again. It was in our 3 reasons why on a consistent basis. It's their team play, it's their teamwork, it's each individual player on this Heroic side of things playing for each other. We saw it in that pistol round on CT side Inferno. They were down 3 versus 5 members of Sprout just rushing towards that B. And here's the clip right here with Cadian, and I believe it was S-Attack hiding in that triple, just bait and switching. These sort of timings and that concept, it's so simple, but it's not that easy to execute. And I commend Heroic for bringing out such a simple crossfire and making it look that good.
All right, well, let's actually talk to them. We got Snappy standing by. Congratulations, first of all, and just kind of want to ask you, what's it like to have come so close in Rotterdam and then be able to come and do it here in Atlanta?
I mean, this is my 4th DreamHack Open final, and it's my first win. So I'm just very happy that I finally got one. I didn't really play that good, but I think it was a team effort overall in the tournament, and I'm just very happy that we took it this time, because, as I said in the first interview I did, we only came here to win, and I'm very happy that we delivered.
Coming into the tournament, there was no doubt, as you said, that you guys were the favorites. Now, were you at any point pressured throughout this tournament? Was there a point where you thought to yourself, all right, this may not go the way we wanted to?
I feel like the match I feel like that in the game against Virtus Pro, we had 2 tough maps where we needed some hero rounds, especially on Vertigo, to close it out. Apart from that, I felt like we actually did it quite confidently. In the final, I mean, on train we won 16-9, but we lost both pistols and the following rounds. And I think Inferno was kind of convincing as well. So I don't think that we were nervous at any point, but obviously we had it in the back of our mind that we lost the final at Rotterdam after finishing the first map 16-3. So we just kept going this time. Not that we didn't try in Rotterdam, but this time we succeeded.
Surely.
Snappy, congratulations on winning that grand final. My quick question is going to be, You just mentioned that this is your 4th grand final in a DreamHack Open, your first time winning one. We've seen you in the top scene of the Counter-Strike for a very long time. What do you think the difference is in this lineup as opposed to your previous lineups?
I think the key thing is just hunger. I think we have a couple of people here trying to prove that we weren't the problem in the previous lineup as it was laid out, and then we got some young players that are really eager to learn and to play, and you don't have to ask them to play a lot; they just do it on their own. So that's really great.
Fantastic.
Well, you've been in 4 grand finals. You've won this one, but that's not all. I just got word from everybody in the back. You are also being awarded MVP. Congratulations. How much does that mean to you now, finally getting this under your belt and grabbing MVP as well?
Not a lot, to be honest. I don't care. I definitely don't think I deserve it at all. So, yeah. I got it, but I don't think it's deserving.
Hey man, that's how I walk through. That's how I walk through life. That's the type of energy I bring with me absolutely everywhere. But congratulations for MVP, and also congratulations on grabbing that victory overall. Excited to get to talk to you and maybe grab a drink in Atlanta, my man.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Once again, it's the humble, selfless in-game leader coming out of Snappy there.
That's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were awarded an MVP, I'm sure you would react way differently.
If I managed to get the MVP, I would have told everybody how much I did deserve it. I would have been talking for about an hour there, explaining all the reasons. And you know, sometimes that type of posturing is because you don't actually deserve it. And I think coming in after a win like that and actually being a little bit humble just shows how much he actually does deserve it. Let's actually talk a little bit about what he was able to do for his squad. Snappy, of course, the MVP. Heroic, of course, our champions here at the DreamHack Open.
Well, the fun thing is that Snappy didn't have a great final, right? He was struggling a little bit. He ended on 26 frags, 40 dead. So you'd argue from that, he maybe wasn't the MVP candidate. The reason why we picked him to be the MVP of this tournament is down to the fact that he came in with Heroic so prepared, right? He made sure that they could perform. He made sure all the players around him would be facilitated in a fashion so they could perform at the highest level. I also think up until the point of the final, he was fragging very well. Normally you don't really see that from a lot of in-game leader nowadays. It's tough to be the best fragger of your lineup if you're always trying to control them as well. So I think Snappy deserves some credit for what he's done here with Heroic, and I really love the fact that he said that they are trying to prove that they are not the problem as it's been laid out on the most recent teams they've been on, right? It's a team of, dare I say, misfits in Danish Counter-Strike. A lot of them have the potential to play in some of the better teams, but now they're together and they're making it work fluently.
And also, I think the other thing we have to bounce off of is you look at a map, you look at this series, and it's just a part of the entire picture. We actually have to look at the entire tournament when we are assessing how well they really did play, and I'm sure they're going to be in this top 5 a whole bunch as we look at some of the best moments that actually did happen here in Atlanta.
Yeah, so coming in with play number 5, it's Reitz here, going all the way back to Nuke when Illuminar was facing off versus Sprout, and they actually ended up winning this map, and Reitz with another ace with that USP.
Number 4 here, we see the MP9 from Cam, and he had a lot of aces throughout this tournament. This is just one of them. Now picking up an SG to finish it out. This kid, we didn't know him before this tournament, but he played hearts out.
He definitely did. Coming in with play number 3, we just saw this a little bit earlier today in that semifinals. It's Borup down to a 1 versus 5 scenario. He gets all 5 kills, crisp, clean headshots, again with that USP.
Play number 2, we got Reitz again, this time around with a Deagle, and we saw a lot of Deagle action throughout this tournament, but I dare say this was the most beautiful one. Look at that flick, getting the ace as well. He just was playing hearts out throughout it, and that Deagle headshot right there, that hurts.
And again, Keto coming down to this Inferno. This round, he just rushed down mid, went past that bench, coordinated with his banana players, and he got 5 clean headshots with that USP once again.
Oh man, and after watching all of that, you're probably thinking to yourself at home, it's over. What a great tournament. But no, it's not over yet. The show's gonna keep on going. We got the overtime show. It's gonna be going down right after this. Caffeine.tv/DreamHack CSGO. We wanna make sure that we see you guys there. But also, I do want to keep in mind the fact that none of this would have been possible without our incredible sponsors. A big thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to Chipotle, Corsair, Monster Energy, Nice Cactus, and AT&T. And also, I want to give big thanks to you guys.
I thought you just handed me flowers and was trying to be nice and said that it wouldn't have been possible without the 2 of us, but I guess that's not
Is the fruit for me?
It's exactly who it's for.
You can have the flowers.
Oh, okay.
You're a girl, I'll eat the apples. It's
I
fine.
think I prefer the fruit.
pie.
Oh, you do?
It's okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
You can split them down the middle.
Yeah, you
Split
want
the
him?
flowers and the fruit. No, I don't deserve any of it.
No,
guys
you don't.
deserve it all.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to know. Would you please?
Group hug.
Would you please?
Potter. It's a group
Oh,
hug.
this
okay.
is gonna be weird.
Thank you guys for
Yeah.
carrying me. And just a reminder, I haven't changed my underwear because I did so good the first
no.
day and the second day. Thank you guys very much for everything. It was a pleasure getting to meet you. It was a pleasure getting to work with you guys. And I hope that one day I see you guys again.
I sincerely hope not.
I also hope that we see all of you guys again. I hope that we see you in the show on Caffeine. Thank you for everything. We'll see you on the Caffeine stream.